Hi guys, welcome back. So let's have a look back at the Six Nations. Yes, England won it, but it was certainly close. They deserved to win it because they got the most points, but you wouldn't say they absolutely smashed it. Other teams did well as well. So let's have a look at England first. They start off slow out of the blocks, which really cost them a Grand Slam as such. France beat them well there, and France continued to impress, obviously not doing enough, slipping up against Scotland, but England then have 4 very solid wins. Built really around a very good pack, left over from the World Cup, good age profile, you know, the likes of Genge, Cowan-Dickie, Sinclair, Stuart Atoje, Johnny Hill, all the back row. They're going to be around for a long time, so that English pack's going to be good for a while. Defensively, excellent, good line speed. John Mitchell's really worked well with them. He's certainly been impressive. Their kick chase is generally very good. They compete very hard. Occasionally they win a lot of the balls back in the air as well. You know, the likes of Johnny May, Watson, excellent kick chase game. Sometimes they can kick a bit too much, certainly. You need a good kicking game, but sometimes they can overdo it. And really where they need to improve is their running game, a little bit more variations out wide, etc. I think their forwards can vary it up quite nicely. Their lines of running are pretty good. It's not too one-dimensional, but certainly when it comes to the playmakers, I think they can push for a bit more. Question marks, well, scrum half, fly half, they're in a transition stage. I'm going to dive into England in a bit more detail in another video. Ford, is he as good as the youngsters coming through? So there could be some transition in those key areas. And I'm pretty sure Farrell's going to stick around, but still there's lots of competition. And there's a glaring hole at inside centre. Really no one's come through. They're going to have to start playing some youngsters because that is a problem. Now Tuilangi's out for a long time and it could well be the last time we saw him in an England shirt anyway. So there, some few problems there. Back three, they need to bring the next generation through, but the current lot they have are still very good. And to be fair to them, you know, they have good, strong team identity. They all know what they're doing. They're very tight. You know, they're well coached. They're well captained. Whether you like them or not, they're all on the same page and they're enjoying what they're doing. And they're very much got an identity. I do think they need to take the attacking to another level, but at least they're very clear with what they're trying to do at the moment. Looking at France, they had a very good Six Nations. Big slip up against Scotland, where Scotland, you know, really stomped them well there. You know, good win for Scotland. So that's where they lost it essentially. But the revolution has worked. It's great. France are back, but they're better. They're new. France's problem has always been the professional era. It didn't quite fit into how they were behaving, you know, with the coaches, with the game plan. You know, they would give up, they would sulk, and they're not doing that anymore. They've even bitten the bullet and got a foreign coach in, and they hate that. They hate going outside of France. So that, you know, really hurts their pride. But they've gone for it, and it's worked. You know, Sean Edwards is exactly that sort of no-nonsense guy that France needs. They're not moaning. It's consistent effort. Sure, their biggest work on is their concentration. They are still prone to some crazy decisions. It's something that they will do more than other teams because of the expansive style they play and the risks they take, but I still think they can tighten up on that. Their pack is big and nasty. I mean, it's really simple. You've got some really honest second rows there who hit hard. The back rows are super honest as well. When I say honest, I mean they get their heads down and they work hard. They're not prima donnas chucking their arms in the air. And then they let their backs do the thing, and their back line is just the best in the competition by far. You know, Dupont, Intermac, Fickou, Vincent, Vakatawa, Boutier, class players, loads of creativity, pace and power. It's a good mix. So welcome France to the professional era. Brilliant. They are back for sure. How they're going to carry and improve in the future will be interesting, but they're professional with French flair. That's what we wanted to see, so well done them. Now Ireland, I hate to say the word transition, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're in transition. They lost to the two big teams, if you like, England and France, and then they beat the rest. Good wins against Scotland and Wales. So yeah, they're third best at the moment for sure. And they are in transition because it's a new coach and they really are starting to bring some youngsters through and slowly change the way they play. But they haven't deviated too much on what made them good. So they've managed to maintain a decent performance level if, you know, fair few improvements to be made and a fair few new players to get in as well. But we've seen Doris, Connors, Keenan come in successfully. They need to get the likes of Baird some game time, Kelleher some game time. I think we need Levy back, and then also a few more of the younger flair players that are coming through. We're going to start seeing. We're going to see Lowe soon as well. So I expect this continued improvement in Ireland, and certainly by the end of the next Six Nations, then we can make a decent judgment on where they're at. They do have some issues. The halfback situation, obviously Murray and Sexton are still playing well, but they're not going to go on forever. Sexton is a good general, but he's just slowing down because he's older. That's just how it is. There's nothing he can do about that. And it's not obvious where their world-class replacements are coming from. So that's an interesting one. See who they start to bring in. But I don't see it yet. Let me know if you know who the next two are going to be. All the centres are playing well, which is a big tick. Aki looks great. Ringrose before his injury was playing really well. Henshaw's back to fitness. So those three absolutely fantastic, playing great, and they've got a bit of backup as well. There is an issue over fullback. I think Wing's going to be okay, especially with Lowe coming onto the scene. But is it going to be Stockdale? Is it going to be Lama? Both of those guys have got big question marks. Or is it going to be someone else? I'd probably put my money on someone else. I don't know who in the future, but maybe someone. Maybe they could play Conway there for now, Keenan there for now. I don't know. But anyway, big decisions for Farrell. How far is he going to push the envelope in attack? How far is he going to stick to the a traditional method, which is playing very clean, very powerfully, but without too much risk? I wonder how far he's going to go with that. Anyway, transition for Ireland, not bad, but improvements to be made. Now, Scotland had a very interesting Six Nations, losing their opening 2 games, but then bringing it back with 3 wins. A bit up and down, but 2 huge results at the end actually shows there is results at the end of the ability and promise that we keep talking about, so that's good for them. And also, Operation Reinforce the Brittle Pack has worked. It's something I highlighted during and after the World Cup, that Gregor Townsend has to get a better platform for his backs, and he's done that. Sutherland, Kebbles, Xander Fagerson and Cummings especially have come in and made a big impression physically, set-piece wise, and now the backs can launch a lot more regularly, better quick ball at set-piece and in face play. Back 3, looking good. I think Van der Merwe and Darcy Graham coming into the mix is definitely the way to go. To go with Hogg, getting some real danger there. The debate with Russell is interesting. Can do great things, can lose games. Hastings is good, but he's not got the flair of Russell. How are they going to manage that will be interesting. Anyway, and there's a good battle at scrum half as well. So it's interesting, big questions, but it's consistency. Can they maintain a consistent performance to win something? They're going to win games, but can they win a championship? That's the question for them. They've got to win something at some point, to justify all this improvement. So let's see. Now Wales, it was a disappointing championship for Wales, no doubt. They beat Italy, but then lose to everyone else, and no Welsh fan will want to see that. Sure, it's a new coach, there's new systems involved there, but it's still not good enough for Wales. Being a massive sport in Wales, there's always going to be pressure on the coach and the players. Big expectation when Pivac came in that their attack would really go to the next level, but it certainly hasn't yet. The stuff he worked with the Scarlets, the way he played with them, we haven't seen yet. They are the 5th best team at the moment. Does he have the players to play the way maybe he wants to play? I don't know. Are they just not performing? Let me know. I thought their set piece was solid, but not dominating like it has done in the past. There's questions in the backs. Should Bigger play 10? Should Patchell play 10? Should they bring through a youngster maybe like Costello and get him straight in? Who's going to partner Jonathan Davis? Fairly big questions here. And also another area I've identified is there a hidden problem coming up? I looked at Wales' best players, and these are the players that I think are absolute class. Wyn Jones, 35 years old. Ken Owens, 33. Jonathan Davis, 32. Tipperick, 31. Halfpenny, 31. And then Faletau, Liam Williams and Navidi, all 29. Fine for now, but in the future, going towards the next World Cup, these guys are going to start dropping off. Maybe some, maybe all, who knows. But they are their best players, and they're in that older age bracket, and we need to see more younger players coming through who look like taking up that mantle, and there's not a lot of them yet, so they've got to start bringing those in pretty quickly, I would say. Anyway, that's my take on Wales. And finally, looking at Italy, again, wasn't a good tournament for them. 0 points, no bonus points at all, no wins. Are they going to get better? Well, yes, I think they will get better. They've started again. They've gone with young players, players that have come up through the age groups, and their age groups have improved significantly in recent years, so it is definitely the way to go. But when you look at their professional teams, they're just not good enough to produce the players Italy needs to compete in the Six Nations, certainly in the short to medium term. So I think they're going to get better. Are they going to get good enough? I just don't think so. We haven't had a big result for a while. Pelledri looks absolute class. He's their one massive player who would get into every team. But apart from that, not really seeing a huge amount. But they're doing the right thing. There's not a lot more they can do at the moment. Anyway, guys, that's my take, my report card for the Six Nations on the 6 different teams. Let me know how your report card would read for those Six Nations. And until next time, I will see you later.